Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the Wyoming Way. Well, I've got a real special treat for you this morning. I'm here with my grandmother, Lennon, and I want to introduce you this morning to her alpacas, which are pretty much the coolest animals on the face of the planet, right? Right?
I thought you thought they were odd.
Well, they are odd, but so are we, so that's why we like them. Anyway, stay tuned. This is going to be fun. All right, Granny, so what do we have here? Who are these guys?
These are 11 alpacas, and they're my dear, dear friends and soulmates. They're very gentle and nice.
So that's like a pretty good herd of alpacas.
We're an alpaca farm now.
I would say so. So tell me, what got you into alpacas originally?
Well, we've been in ranching forever, and love ranching, running cows and horses, and we got too old and sold our cows to you.
Sorry about that.
And I had a really, really bad horse wreck, and all my kids decided that it was time for me to hang up my spurs and get rid of my buggy whip because it was a horse and carriage wreck. And so we did that, and then all of a sudden I was really sad because I had empty corral syndrome. There were no animals to take care of, and I've taken care of animals for 50, 60 years. And so just on a lark, we said, well, why don't we get some alpacas? We heard about Alpacas of Montana, and James and Sarah Budd were wonderful to us. We went up there, and they sold us these. And there's all sorts of grade. These are Wakayas, by the way. They're Surreys and Wakayas.
Let's get a breakdown on all their names.
Okay, this is Adriana.
Okay, starting on the left here, we've got Adriana.
That's Adriana, and she's almost 2. She'll be 2 in June. And this is Hooligan, and he's kind of always out by himself. The others don't like him very much. Poor guy. And that is Steely.
Steely up next to the fence there, okay.
Yeah, and this is mother and daughter right here, Pele and Julia.
Pele and Julia, okay.
And I will show you a scarf that I've made from Pele and Julia. That's Nicky, and he's kind of...
You mean you wear your friends?
Yes, I do.
That's a little
wear
weird.
My friends.
Okay, all right.
They like me better for it. Anyway, that's Nicky, and he's kind of a goofball.
The black one right there?
Yeah, that big guy. And I think he, at some point in his heritage, probably has a little llama in him. Look at him.
Oh, she just called you half llama, dude. How do you feel about that? That's like the insult of insults to an alpaca.
Now this is our wildest one, but that's Maya, and that's her son right there, Rusty. You need one that's a little wary, and she leads them all. When she goes somewhere, everybody goes. And she's the first one in the corral when you gather them at night. She's just the leader. She's the head honcho.
What is this humming that they're doing?
They're a little distressed by us being. They don't know you, and they don't like their pictures taken.
Is it the 6'2" guy with the big black hat on that's bothering them?
Yeah. See, I
come in peace. I have no intentions of wearing any of you today.
Anyway,
but they are really vocal animals, right?
Very.
I mean, they're always making little sounds.
That one's Corona. He was born.
The white one?
Yep, he was born in 2022. No, or he's Corona, right in the middle of coronavirus.
Coronavirus, perfect. Yeah. What a nice namesake. They look very cranky at me. Do they always pin their ears back and kind of look?
Well, they're trying to tell you that you're too close to them. And when they put up their heads and have their sides to you and their ears back, they're saying, step back.
Okay. What they've got, like, weird, they've got toes.
Yeah, well, don't look at his because he needs to be trimmed badly, and so does Sarah. That's Sarah. She's 19 years old.
So you've got alpaca maintenance.
Yes.
Okay.
And we get the shearers to do that because Pa and I are not too. They do kick, and I've never been kicked by one. But you've got to be aware that you don't want to get pushing them on the rear end. So you go to pick up their feet, and might kick you. Look at, they're really hungry.
How many people a year do you think are killed by alpacas?
0.
Okay.
Or hurt.
Just wanted to clear that up.
They get kicked, but I have to say they have a dog pad on their foot, so it's like getting kicked by a dog.
Okay, explain about that. They have like, just like a dog, they have a pad.
They have a pad. And then they have
Could you show us that later?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello.
Oh, see, now they're too close.
I think that one just spit at me.
Not at you, he spit at him, and it was a fake spit.
So they do spit?
Yes, but only at each other usually. I've never been spat on.
I don't know if I got that on camera, but that one right there just spit.
Well, it was a fake spit. He just went, you'd know a real spit.
You'd be wearing it.
Yeah, you'd be wearing it, and you want to go take a shower.
Okay. Weren't they just shorn fairly recently?
No, they were shorn last June.
Oh, last June, okay. So they get shorn once a year?
Yeah, and you have to call them up in January and get on their calendar, and these shearers go throughout all over the country, but they come up through Montana. They go to Canada, Montana, Wyoming, and
Now, what's the history on these? Because they got kind of a cool history, like world history, right?
Yes, they do. In the first place, camelids were in this country 40,000 years ago, and after the glacial age and stuff, they moved either to Asia or down to South America, Peru, Brazil, Argentina, Chile. And then about 6,000 or 7,000 years ago, first of all, they evolved into the vicuña and the guanaco. And then the Incas were really good at animal husbandry, and they domesticated the guanaco and the vicuña. And the llama is from the guanaco, and the vicuña alpacas are descended from the vicuña. And they have just over the years, the Incas were able to develop a gentle animal.
Were they a pack animal?
Yeah, you can pack them. They use them for meat.
How much does one of these, like, what's the big male gonna weigh? Do you have any idea?
I mean, they
look like they'd be 100, 150 pounds or something.
I think the larger ones would be 150 pounds. They're probably about 130, maybe.
They're good sized animals,
yeah,
for sure.
But ours are pretty big. I've seen a lot of farms that have real small ones. Well, hi, Adriana. Do you want to look?
Alpacas are very naturally curious, as you can see.
They are.
So what? Now, you don't milk these, and you don't eat them. So what do you do with these critters?
You use their fleece. Actually, it's not wool, it's hair. It's hollow, and they're warmer than wool, and they're hypoallergenic. The straight vicuña is the most valuable fiber in the world. People could be killed for wearing it if they weren't royalty.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we should bring that back. I think that sounds like a good policy.
I just love taking care of them. They take very little care, but I get them in every night. This area here is safe, and they like a safe spot because they're prey animals. They're like a rabbit. They have no defenses, and except for kicking and running.
What do you have critters around here that would get into them?
Coyotes. I don't think a fox could do any damage, really, because I think they'd all gather kind of like muskox, and I think they'd run a fox off, but a coyote could definitely get them.
And they live, basically they've got several acres here. All that is woven wire fenced, and then these lots in the corral.
And that pasture too, I've gotten where I run them without woven wire fence during the day because nothing's happened, and I trust our environment. If we had mountain lions, we'd have a real trouble. This Sarah over there at the water tank, she has been attacked by a mountain lion up in Montana.
No kidding.
Yeah, and they
live to tell the tale.
They had big kanga dogs.
You should see the mountain lion.
Yeah, they had a dog like your dog, like Blaine, and he ran the lion off. Okay,
so if anybody watching this wants to get into alpacas, what are they going to need?
They're going to need a corral. They're going to need a place. They're going to need hay feeders. And
what do you feed them?
We feed them hay,
just
but
hay?
I haven't. Yeah, but they don't. They're very picky, and they just like select grasses within the hay, and so they
has to be pretty high quality
This is
hay.
embarrassing because if we had cattle, I wouldn't have wasted hay all over. But they leave a lot, and then they lay on it, and once they do, then they don't want to eat it anymore.
They're kind of little divas in a way.
Yes, they are.
A little bit, yeah.
Little divas.
So, okay, let's see your water source over here.
Okay, we have a water tank that waters that. I sometimes separate them. Most people do separate the boys from the girls, and they are appalled if you run them together. But I run them together, and they do beautifully together. And I do separate them when I'm weaning. Like I was just weaning last week, and well, they've been weaned now for 3 weeks, but I just had them separated last week in 2 different bunches, and so they watered from there or here.
So this is just an automatic water. It's got a float in there. It's got a heating element. Keep it open in the winter. That works just fine for them.
Yep, and we have the same thing in the shed that's up over there. We have 2 sheds. A 3-sided shed is preferable because they don't really like to be closed in. And a lot of times in the really nasty weather where I think they need to be in, they're out. They can go in.
Well, they look like they're pretty robust animals as far as cold weather tolerance. I mean, they're literally like big fuzzballs.
Well, they were originally from the Andes Mountains, and they're 11,000 feet high, and it gets to be like 20 degrees at nighttime and 70 or so during the day. And their biggest problem, I think, is heat. And so in the summertime, I water them. And I have a hose hooked up to that pump there. And they just love it, and they'll stand up on their hind legs and like this. And I'll spray them all with water, and they all come. They all love it.
Now, I've heard that they have magical poop, that if you put their poop in the soil, it'll grow like a beanstalk up to the clouds.
Right up to the
like you
golden...
you plant a plant in alpaca poop, it'll grow a beanstalk. Is that right?
That your tomato plants will be that high.
But seriously though, tell us about the the fertilizer and stuff.
Well, like stud horses, they have a common dung pile. And they'll have them all over the place, and I go all over the place and rake them up and put them in the wheelbarrow and then shovel them into...
You call a male a stud?
No, he's a macho.
A macho?
Yeah.
What's the females?
Hembra.
Hembra?
Those are the 2 Spanish words for female.
Okay. Okay, anyway, back to the poop.
Okay, back to the poop. Some days my whole days are filled with poop. And anyway, so I put it in sacks.
Okay.
And I could sell it for a lot of money, and I give it away.
What's so special about it? It's just really good.
It's very good. You don't have to compost it. It won't. They have 3 stomachs, and somehow or other, when it's not like sheep manure, which you have to leave sit and compost it because it's too hot. But this is not too hot.
Well, we should look at some alpaca poop just to show the viewers. Hey, buddy, could you help us out with that real quick?
No, he's helping you out right now.
Oh, okay. It's like little deer droppings, right?
Yeah,
little balls.
Right. They've been in here all morning.
Let's go look at a sack of your alpaca poop. Let's go look in there. Well, seriously, there's a pile there, but...
Okay. And if you look up on the internet, you'll find people are selling it for a lot of money. Little tiny bags go, I don't know what it is. You'd have to look it up, but like...
So folks, if you're in the market, she can hook you up right here.
So I give it away, but it's just a sack of poop.
Now I tell you what, this is the kind of content you came for. I know this is true. I know my audience.
There's a little bit of hay or straw in there, and hopefully it won't sprout. But as far as the poop goes, it won't. There's nothing there that'll sprout.
Gotcha. Well, can we catch one and get hands on here?
You bet.
And you do feed them like a little grain or a little pellet or something. Why don't we look at that?
I mix just a regular horse grain. There's too much left in here right now because they've been disturbed this morning. But I a horse grain and
Like some COB
a pellet,
and some
yeah.
pellet, yeah.
And I'm not too sure they like it too much, but
Well, they're alpacas. I mean, they don't
it
really
depends
like
what day
anything, right? Except for you. They like you.
So I have to put out a shout for Sarah and James Budd because they have 100 alpacas. And a lot of theirs are show. These are obviously cull. I mean, they're not. They asked me if I was going to ever show them. I said no. So that's.
There's alpaca shows?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
And
like
some,
purebred, high, like $100,000 alpaca show?
30, 40. I'm not kidding you.
Holy smokes. Get a mean one. Get the meanest one and we'll...
Once you have a halter on them, and this one's only 8 months old. And it's so easy to halter break. I mean, not at all like a colt. This is Julia.
Not
She's
Julia.
only 8 months old. It's all right. Don't be
She is
scared,
a
Julia.
cute little thing. Do they bite?
No, they don't have any upper teeth.
Oh, really? Okay, they're kind of like a cow.
And it's interesting because their tongue is attached very close to the edge of their teeth, so they don't lick their young when they're born.
Huh.
You're a good girl. She's a
So
dear.
June, July, you shear them.
Yeah, and we
Check
shear
out
them
these
up.
toes, guys. Isn't that wild? pretty different kind of critter.
And we shear them in that barn there, and they put down mats on the floor and tie they just pick them up and like a calf, and they tie their back legs to a bungee cord and a rope, and their front legs to another. They stretch them out. Takes them about, oh, I don't know, 5 minutes at the most, 4 minutes or so to shear them all. And you can have them leave any hairdo you want. I think I might leave a little hair around your face. What else? Let's see. I mean, look at she's 8 months old, and she's only probably been haltered about 10 times. But even the first time, you could lead her.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
They're not like
joyful little critters.
Right, but they're not like a dog. You have to respect their space, and I know that they don't. If she didn't have a halter on, you could not reach her. She'd always just move one step away. And so you've got to get used to the fact that they don't really need you to pet them. You know, they don't really like to be pet. Did you feel the hair? This is baby alpaca is worth a lot, and I think I don't know whether
soft and
yeah I think she will be black.
Look at that,
See
guys.
that?
Look at how much. Look at all this. It's unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
like a mat of really
fine,
fine,
crimped.
and it's got crimp. Yeah, it's crimped.
It's crimped. And the Surrey, this is a Wakaya, as I said, but the Surreys have long kind of dreadlocks, and I don't think their hair is crimped, but this is so nice. But see, she'll have black. I'll show you. I've brought
Now you're also a very accomplished
no, I'm a
crochet
beginner.
and weaver and all
I'm
this.
a beginner, but this was made out of her sister and
wow.
mother.
So cool.
Adriana is in it, and Coco right here.
Let's see that. Look at that. It's so soft.
Feel that.
So nice. Lovely work.
And then I made, here's what the skeins, this is Steely. It's nice to know who you're wearing.
That's like at the fashion show when they ask all the red carpet, they're like, "Oh, who are you wearing?"
Yes, exactly.
Like you can literally know who you're wearing.
This is Pele, and it's so soft. Feel this. I did want to mention that there's a real difference being a cow person and being a shepherd. And you shepherd these. and I've never been a shepherd before, and I love it.
Explain more about that, the difference.
Well, you're pushing cattle, and you're horseback. You're not, and with these, you're just gently around them, and I shepherd them over the hill. I walk them up over this hill and over into another pasture, and they, my dog and I are getting any predators out of the way. They know you have that feeling that they trust you, and there's just a lot of trust between us, and I love that. And it's different, and I have to say that when I walk them up the hill, I recite the 23rd Psalm because it just feels right, The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Well, there you have it, folks. My granny's up over the hill shepherding her alpaca along. They're like the coolest animals ever, right? I told you they're cool. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please be checking back in for more. This is the Wyoming Way. We'll catch you on the next one.